Hello and welcome to another PyConline AU News Desk update. I'm Developer Jack, and on tonight's News Desk update, I have with me three amazing guests. We have Chris, Eliza, and Justin. Thank you for joining us. How are you all tonight?
Great.
Awesome. Now, to keep this a tight ship and to make sure we can have a good conversation, Justin, I'm going to pop you back down to the green room, and we'll have a chat to you in just a few moments' time. Don't go away. Awesome. Chris, Eliza, it's really good to see you. How are you both going?
Yeah, it's been an odd time. It's great to see you. It's sad that we won't get to actually see you in person this year.
Indeed, and I'm missing seeing you all in person, but it's good to see you online. Chris, how are you?
I'm doing all right. Gonna miss you in the green bandanas this year.
But we do get to tweet from a distance. So you are both, of course, organising our security and privacy specialist track. Now, before we get too much further into this video, I want to let you in on a little bit of a secret, is that security and privacy is one of my favourite specialist tracks at PyConline. However, don't tell the others. They just get a little bit jealous, but it's our secret.
Your secret's safe with us.
Now, last year, I seem to remember you had a snappy little tinfoil curly boy. Do you have an update on how the curly boy is going?
We do. You'll find him on our track website at snakeoil.academy, because we figured it was the most appropriate thing for security and privacy.
Delightful. I love it. So, Chris, tell me a little bit more about the security and privacy specialist track. What makes it so special?
Look, I think it's pretty special because it brings to PyCon a group of people and skills that would otherwise not necessarily present at a programming conference or feel like they would necessarily be valued at one, whereas we think... how about yourself, Eliza?
You're back.
Oh, what is happening?
That's right. We lost Chris for a moment, but he's back with us now. Chris, you were saying about members of the community.
Yeah, I just think that it's a great set of skills that don't necessarily show up at programming conferences very often. So we really want to make sure that they do get along to PyCon, and PyCon people benefit from those skills.
I love it. And so, Eliza, how about you? What really makes this special for you?
For me, security and privacy track is really special because PyCon AU was actually my first programming conference. And that was a long time ago. It makes me incredibly happy that we're now having the conversations about privacy over profit and defense in depth. And these are happening at programming conferences, not InfoSec conferences, not operations conferences. That's just so exciting to me. And it's so exciting to see the PyCon and the Python community embrace that.
I absolutely agree. Look, the world as we know it took a bit of a sharp turn this year. It is somewhat unrecognizable from the 2019 that we left behind. How has that affected the security and the privacy landscape as well?
Thanks to COVID, 2020 has seen like a massive increase in the number of people working remotely, including developers and other people in our sector. So that means that their personal security hygiene is now so much more important than it traditionally was. So now a person's attack vectors are now your business attack vectors, and that's just getting monumentally huge. Yeah.
We are really hoping to see talks from people who have had to respond to that huge change and how they've ensured they can still work functionally and securely. We bet there are some great stories out there about how people have responded in good faith to COVID, but ended up with new problems on their hands, like the reports we've all been seeing about online fraud and ransomware and phishing attacks using COVID as the attack mechanism.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I would love to see some people that have been involved in those incidents or have insight into those changes to submit to and share their insights at PyConline AU. Do you have any last words of wisdom for people that are viewing this stream or recording of this stream and who might be thinking about submitting to PyConline AU but they're not sure, or they might not be sure that security and privacy specialist track is the right place for their talk?
We want to make sure that everyone who thinks they have something to share feels confident in submitting to the track or one of the other specialist tracks, even if they don't necessarily think it's Python specific, because there are lessons to be learned. Please submit. Submit early, submit often. You can edit your submissions. Please go to pycon.org/speak. There are mentors available who are, willing and able to help you with your hopefully new speaking career.
Yeah, even if you've never presented at any of these kind of conferences before, we highly recommend coming along. PyCon AU is easily one of the best places to be a first-time speaker. Last year, we had a first-time speaker that was just wildly successful, easily one of the most popular talks of the day. You can check that video out at snakeoil.academy. It's the one about the digital driver's license and some interesting design choices that led to some unintended security consequences.
I love that talk. It was absolutely fantastic. So I guess if I think through this in summary, get excited about security, about privacy, intentional design and thinking about these things up front, and feel empowered to submit to the conference. We love hearing from people who are perhaps outside of the normal Python community but have some amazing insights and some wisdom that they can share from their experience. We do have mentoring available if it's your first time speaking at an online event or at a PyCon AU event. And so take advantage of that mentoring. You can head to pycon.org.au/speak. If you join me over there we go. Marvelous. All the details about submitting to the conference and the mentorship is there. CFP closes on the 12th of July, so you've got just shy of 2 weeks, a few days short of that, to put your talk in. Submit early, submit often. You can always change your talk submission right up into the deadline. Eliza, Chris, thank you for joining me this evening. I'm going to pop you back down to the green room, and we'll catch you towards the end of the stream.
Bye.
And now joining me is Justin. Justin, are you there, my friend?
Just 1 second. Something's gone slightly wrong with what we got on here.
Technology is indeed particularly difficult, isn't it?
No, it's not working at all. Oh, there we go. That's much better.
I was almost getting some early episodes of Doctor Who vibes. I wasn't sure which timeline you're in there.
I don't think any of us are quite sure what timeline we're in anymore. Time has lost all meaning.
It has indeed, working from home. Now, all of that is a fun and cheesy joke about DevOps, but I'm actually the most excited about the DevOps specialist track this year. It is a new addition to PyCon AU and PyConline AU, I should say, and I'm really, really excited about it. Tell me more about what is DevOps all about.
Well, this is what happens to you when you have silly ideas on the internet. You get volunteered into running interesting tracks at conferences. So DevOps is all about failure. And at a lot of conferences, we like to talk about how we did things and built things and how well everything went. We don't actually spend a lot of time talking about when things went horribly wrong. And there's actually a lot to learn about what happened when something went wrong. And PyCon is a great place for you to come and to talk about that. So we want to get people talking about their failures. We want them to be open with what went on. This is a really welcoming community for that kind of talk. HugOps is a thing. So this is a great place for you to be vulnerable about something that went wrong in your professional life and to then help everyone else learn from your mistakes.
I love that. It's definitely a trend we've seen more and more in tech and in software engineering to editorialize slightly for our audience. We've seen a lot of startup communities gather around stuff up nights where they share some of their biggest stuff ups as a business and what they've learned as a team. But I also think, talking about failure is vulnerable. It's difficult. It's hard to talk about sometimes. How do you feel that this is going to play into DevOps and the specialist track?
Well, it's a couple of things. So for people who are not sure about whether they wanted to talk about this kind of failure, PyCon is the perfect place for that. It's an incredibly welcoming community. There's a lot of investment has been put in over many, many years to make it a very, very welcoming place. So if you're going to talk about failures, this is an ideal audience to talk to. Also, if it's the first time that you wanted to talk about something, failure is a great topic to talk about because it's inherently interesting. Everyone else loves to read or listen to people talk about something that went wrong and then what they learned from it. And that's what we're trying to get out of this, is for people to be able to say, I did this, it was horrible at the time, but now with a bit of distance, we can look at it and kind of learn from those things and say, well, actually, this is why that happened. don't do this in future, maybe avoid this, learn from my mistakes, and then we can all be much, much better at what we're doing.
I want to second that. I think PyConline AU is one of the most welcoming communities that I've had the delight to work with and be a part of. We start to see that through a lot of previous events that we've run, but also through things like our mentoring program for first-time speakers and for seasoned speakers as well. I think that's a massive part of what makes speaking at PyConline AU such a unique and special process, is that we really want to help encourage people to do the best talk they can, and we've got the support mechanisms to make that possible. Now, I said I was really excited about DevOps, but of course, that means things are going to run perfectly, right? First-time specialist track, digital format. What could go wrong?
I know, right? I mean, of course, everything is going to explode within seconds. And that's just fabulous, because then we've all got material for next year. And that's what we're expecting, is that this is a great track to go and actually make mistakes in. So if this is your first time talking, please come and get people to help you with this, because even if you're on stage and things start to go wrong, that's fabulous. That's what we're all there to learn from. We can all see what's going on with that, and everyone is going to be very, very welcoming. So there's not going to be anyone booing or hissing or throwing things at you. It's all going to be people who really, really want you to succeed. And with DevOps, failure is success.
Oh, I love that slogan. You have to keep that.
I think we might. I quite like that one now.
Well, you've got the recording for it. So, Justin, any last words for viewers who might be thinking about an oops that they've had, or perhaps they might be thinking, oh, maybe my talk would also apply to the DevOps track?
Then apply early, apply often. Go along to the website and make sure that you check out the call for proposals. So put your proposal in for your talk. Put in as many as you can think of. If you want some help with that, we've got plenty of people who will mentor you through the process, who will help you with your submission. We really want some great talks, and we want people to be their best selves. We really want to help you to make this a great conference. And without your talks, we can't have a great conference. So please come along. Please submit your talks in there, and we'll help you to build a great DevOps and a great PyCon online.
Fantastic. To build a great DevOps. That has to be another slogan you run with. Justin, thank you so much for taking some time this evening to share a little bit more about the DevOps specialist track at PyConline AU. I'm going to welcome back to the stream Eliza and Chris. We'll add them back here. Eliza, Chris, thanks for joining me. Look, this has been a short, sharp, but fun conversation with two of our specialist tracks running this year at PyConline AU. We've heard a little bit about the security and privacy specialist track run by Chris and Eliza, and the DevOps track from Justin. Now, of course, we don't have all of the specialist track organizers here on the stream. There's a massive team that makes all of this possible, but I do want to give a massive thank you, Justin, Eliza, and Chris, for joining me here. Now, quick message for everyone that's viewing the stream. The call for proposals to PyConline AU, all the details is at pycon.org.au/speak. Make sure you check out that URL. It's got all the information about our mentoring programs. So if it's the first time that you've ever spoken at an event, whether it's in person or online, reach out to us and we'll help pair you up with a mentor who can help you through that process. It doesn't matter if it's your first time, if you're a seasoned speaker wanting some feedback, we're here to help you. That closes July 12th anywhere on Earth. And so if you're in Australia, like most of us, that will actually be July 13th. But it's July 12th anywhere on Earth that we close the CFP. And last up, I want to remind everybody viewing that we do this every week at 7:30 p.m. Adelaide time. That happens to be 8 p.m. for those of us on the East Coast. We do these conversations each week with new and interesting guests. And that means I have to organize next week's stream. For now, however, thank you for joining me. We're going to wrap up. Head to pycon.org.au/speak, and I will see you all next week. Thank you.
Bye.